What's up? That's a sweet thumbnail. Can't see you.
I'm hiding myself. I'm hiding behind Made in America stickers. America. Okay?
Assembled or made?
This one says Made in America. You know what this one says? Designed, engineered, and made in the USA with global materials. All right. What's going on? I'm the JakeOfALL. And I was made in Maryland. Which is probably, you know, little America, right? Okay, crabs and not that kind of crabs. Let's get your mind out of the gutter. Okay, so I am using actually a Japanese knife from a Japanese company, interestingly enough, to open a American-made Milwaukee screwdriver that they must have, you know, but it must be the anti-theft is strong with this one.
The love-hate with the Milwaukee blister pack.
Okay, so I want to talk about it, right? I'm not trying to just get views, but I want to talk about this because you know what? Jen has said the same thing, and I have said the same thing. When somebody gets on the internet and starts going crazy about the Made in America thing, the first question I ask them, what are you typing this comment on? Is this on your iPhone? Made in China?
Let's say China.
Is this on your Samsung Galaxy? Made in Korea, I believe. Samsung is Korean. Oh, wouldn't that be funny if made in Korea or made in Korean products were still made in China?
China.
So I actually bought these. Wow, I have a.
First day with the new fingers.
I'm gonna trouble you guys. I'm gonna give you numbers. So Jen, hold that.
Ooh.
Okay.
She's got some weight to her. The hell?
She does not.
She does not.
Okay. Now, if any of you are asking, this specific, not insulated, always wear. Okay, right. So this is they're basically saying don't use this, especially with a metal. Pilf. I don't know what you'd call the end of a screwdriver. This one. What? A hammer? Yeah. Well, you could. And this one is actually specifically designed to have a striking edge on it. And maybe that's why, but this weighs massively, perception-wise, less. In fact, let's even look. I have a scale. 8.4 ounces. Okay. Wow.
Oh, boy.
2.1 ounces lighter. Okay, now this has a rounded shaft with a hex on this end to be able to take, right? So this is actually better for open end wrenches, but this is what they're helpful for, right? Break a screw loose by putting a box, an open, not a closed end, a box end wrench on the end of this. You can do it on this one as well, but you will, actually you're gonna have to use the open end because you do have to get over that. Size-wise, 8.24. It's a little harder on a. From angle to angle, it's like 9, 8.24. This does not have the little max bite technology that they're talking about, where it's like laser etched with grippiness on it. It does have a grip here.
So you would say it has double grip?
It is double gripped, yes, double-ended. But it is not a solid core, meaning if you strike onto this, this might break sooner. But this one is made in the USA. And it said made in the USA, and it did not say...
Is this one insulated or no?
It's not insulated. But this one, neither one is. But this would be a little easier to use in a case where you would want some kind of insulation that you're not actually following the rules, because it's definitely not considered an insulated one. But at least this one, you know you're going to fry yourself because the metal goes all the way through. But like even on the smaller ones, they just feel a lot lighter. 3.5 ounces for the Phillips, 3.3 ounces. Okay, so these feel heavier. This feels lighter, but the rubber molding has a different kind of indentation, and they wanted to obviously differentiate it. I mean, it says USA all over it. And what I wanted to talk to you about, as far as made in the USA and all that kind of stuff goes, is the big thing recently, right? Is Chinese manufacturers, OEMs, have been getting on TikTok or other places, and they've just been spouting off that, like, if you want to get your, well, I guess if your wives are watching, she said Lululemon, then this factory, the same place. I have tons of stuff that's made in
China.
And in fact, I heard a TikToker the other day, and they used a really funny verbiage. They're like, Nike, like all these big companies, some of them have commented and some of them have failed to respond, and they were like, Craftsman's made in China.
China.
They mentioned like a Chinese brand, and then they were like, Milwaukee Tools has failed to come. Milwaukee has never shied away from the fact that they are a Chinese company.
I feel like the what no way guy needs
Yeah.
to stop
What?
and just we
No
just need to insert
way.
that.
I mean, here's a brand new item, right? And I'm betting on here that it's going to say made in China. It's funny that it's not like massively like, where is it?
I mean, it's in the inside maybe? What's the back panel say?
Well, but I'm sort of saying it for a reason, right? Like, I think it's, right, everyone thinks Milwaukee is like America brand.
Is that because it's red and white?
I don't, yeah, red, white. There's no blue, but they're like
the painter's
they're
tape.
like,
It's in aisle 12.
right. They're like, it's Milwaukee, it's America brand. And Milwaukee, I used to have some really old Milwaukee stuff, some drills, whatever, that definitely said made in Milwaukee. But Milwaukee has just said, okay, let's bring some stuff back. Now, I believe if this was sourced, we have some verbiage, if this was sourced with components from another country, it would have to say, similar to this, design, engineered, made in the USA with global materials.
Right. They're
Right?
supposed to say, like, a majority of the product has to be, I believe, assembled.
To qualify for the Made in USA label, a product must be all or virtually all made in the United States. This means that the final assembly or all significance, and virtually all ingredients or components must be originated from the U.S. Okay? Ingredients. That's a pretty funny one. Because what's this made out of?
Plastic.
PET G, and we use bamboo most of the time, which is made in
China.
China.
China. So does that mean all the 3D printed goods that print farm guys, us, whatever, is made in China?
China.
Okay, so I would come out to vet, and I would love you guys to like in the comments, and let's try to be respectful. But made in the USA is important, but it's not the end all be all, and it doesn't also mean you're getting anything bad. Japanese company, Japanese knife, and it says on it very proudly, and it's noticeable. It's this new wood handle that they're doing, but it says made in Japan.
Oi, focus. There we go. Yep, I got it.
Right? Made in Japan.
And that's Ofla, right?
Yeah, and they make great knives. Craft knives, business knives, you name it. Like, these knives are for everything. We love them. We've used them for a really long time. Hey, here's a funny one. Wera. Nobody would ever say that this is not a good brand. In fact, this is a German brand, if I am correct. Wera.
Except where are they made?
Well, this one is made in the Czech Republic. In fact, they're not hiding it. Right here. Is that focusable?
There we go.
All right.
We got it.
But again, still looking on this, there's a lot of places in the box, tool only. Milwaukee Tool. Okay, here we go. Hex key made in China. Oh! Hex key made in China. Designed by Milwaukee Tool. Tool made in China. Pads made in China. Ports made in China. All of it was made in China.
China. And
here's the crazy thing about Milwaukee Tools. They have like offices in the United States. They have reps in the United States. They have reps around Home Depot. They have reps at tool stores. They have reps at conventions. So they are employing a lot of people. So yeah, if you're getting mad that some of the money goes back to China just in general, then sorry, I can't help you on that. But for example, these, I never buy the USA made calipers anymore. They break, they get crushed, they get lost. I have 100 tape measures because I leave them in different parts of the house. I gotta have 3 or 4 of these. I check them every once in a while with like 1, 2, 3 blocks and things like that, and I make sure that they're accurate. But after that, once I drop them, I just throw them out, and I get them again for another 15 bucks. It's not to be a $15 item, and this is definitely not a $15 item. In fact, this is actually a great deal over at Volcano.
Segue.
Right, Dynamite Tools.
Dynamite
Tools is in
Long Island.
Long Island. Yep, and they're having like this massive tool sale. June. I have a date. I wrote it down. I don't want to be wrong. June 6th and 7th. It's like 30, 50% off. Plus, they're doing those stack deals where you spend so much.
Save more.
Yeah, the more you buy, the more you save.
Kind of like a really big tool show, though. Aren't
really
they
big
have
tool
reps
show.
there?
They are. They're going to have reps and a bunch of other
Sounds
stuff.
like a great grand opening
and
sale.
they're real because this is where I got it from. So.
And we got a shirt too.
I'm pretty. Yeah, you got.
I'm wearing the shirt though.
It fits you better, but maybe. This is like the next Friday video or something like that. I don't know. We're going to unbox this and going to show you about the new M12 sander. I did the 3/16. I didn't want the 5 because, you know, I need a little bit more length in my stroke. And I'm serious. That is an actual term. Potty mouth aside. Okay, but, you know, it's not as good. Someone is going to go in the comments, totally understandable, that this is not meant to be striked. Okay, cool. And we've determined that made in China, right, is not always the case because this isn't made in China. This is made in the Czech, and they make great stuff. 3D printers, and nobody has a problem with wear tools, and that's not made in the USA.
So do we feel like this is maybe an issue for those companies that outsource and don't own their factories?
I think so a lot more. Milwaukee's not hiding it.
No.
And if you guys are angry about it, please, on your American-made electronic device, 100%, please comment below that I am typing this hate comment. And I'm really not trying to feel, I know she's going to be like, cut this in the video. But I would love for somebody to comment on a USA only, like NVIDIA, American company, Intel, American company. Almost all of the processors, at least Intel and AMD, you know, a lot of them send those processors to China and Taiwan for packaging. It's really crazy, right? They load up these really expensive processors and they ship them to another country. But they're made in like not Scottsdale technically, Chandler, Arizona. A bunch of Intel processors are made there. I worked for a company that did it. Texas, okay, San Antonio, Samsung plants. Samsung, a Korean cell phone manufacturer making chips in Texas. Semiconductors, right? Cool, great stuff can come from America, but we can also leverage. So I think we, you know, need to leverage our partnerships. And interesting thing about the partnership when we were doing some of the research and Jen was talking about stuff, but like, you know, we pointed out this kind of tag, made in the USA with global materials. Milwaukee PACKOUTs, most of this stuff, I actually would be really interested to find out if these accessories were made in China. But almost all of the PACKOUTs themselves, the ones that are this glass reinforced, are all made in Israel. They also make processors in Israel, so that's really cool. But Makita is doing a solid and being like, look, I don't know what percentage, and I'd love to find out. And when I do, I will let you guys know. But they are assembling this in the United States. That's great. That's a job for an American.
I mean, kudos to them for putting jobs back here because it's not easy.
It's definitely not.
The government does not make it too easy to do anything here.
They definitely don't. They definitely don't. And that's it. This was my last topic. Right, so there's other crazy stuff that happens in China, and this I actually would love to see. So we've gotten some knockoff products, right? A heat gun, Milwaukee makes a heat gun, but the aftermarket one is cooler, it gets hotter, but it drains the battery, and it'll ruin the battery. But it has a trigger lock, Milwaukee's doesn't. You could say that's sort of a knockoff, but they're not trying to make you think that it's a Milwaukee, it just says it works with the Milwaukee tools. This is that battery thing I showed you guys last week, this extension. And even though it looks like DeWalt and Makita, this is absolutely meant to extend a Milwaukee battery. It's funny, I can already hear some. Yep, there you go. There's some, right? Made in China. But it works. It works really well. But here's the crazy thing. Milwaukee's a Chinese company. So do they have like an agreement that when there's a Chinese company and, you know, China, the government, they have one too. And a lot of companies, I think, I understand my business right, are owned by the government, or the government has some level of control in it. Do they stop them from knocking off their own products, or is there going to eventually be this circle of like the world's cheapest screwdriver where they pay you because they like stole an idea from a Chinese company, copied it by a Chinese company, had a Chinese company copy the Chinese company.
It gets copied so many times it comes as just a piece of like spray foam insulation that's been molded.
It's a package. It's an
just a
empty.
package.
This is literally what you get. The blister.
The picture of a screwdriver.
So, I think that's a great Inception kind of concept. Is like, are they going to basically knock off their own stuff, or are they only knocking off successful USA companies? I mean, the stuff on TikTok about Nike, Under Armour, Lululemon, that wasn't they were knocking them off. That was they are claiming that they make them.
A lot of really big designer brands too, and they're talking about all those quote-unquote handmade designer bags.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that somebody has shipped this leather from wherever all the way to this tiny little country. Like, no.
Yeah.
Not in the qualities and the quantities they're sending them out.
Yeah, right. It's made. If it is made in China, it's being 100% made in China, and then they're lying and putting a sticker on it. This is made in Italy. But I think just because it says made in China doesn't mean it's bad.
No, I mean, there's a lot of really great day-to-day useful things that we use that are manufactured there by part or, you know.
I could have looked this up, but I would love to know. Like, are Samsung phones, do we make the chips in the U.S.? Is Samsung only making certain semiconductors, but except for their phones? And then do they take their semiconductors, make them in Korea, and then assemble the phone in Korea? Or is there a percentage of a Korean company's cell phone that is made in China? Because that'd be pretty funny. But again, if we're going to start hating on made in China, make sure we get a mirror out, right? We get our lipstick ready, right? And you get the lipstick and you put it in here and you pull it out, and then you apply the lipstick, right? Because we're all going to be giant hypocrites if we're going to say we've never used a product and liked a product that we've used that was made in China. Tell me I'm wrong. In the comments, tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Really not trying to start a fight.
You feel like you're peeing on an anthill?
I do feel like I might be, you know, but like, I mean, I am the bestest and the mostest at the mustest.
Don't make me shut it off.
I know. And I didn't even give her a chance to pause this video. I just went on my rant, but I believe in it because we all, you guys that watch us, love our Milwaukee tools. Almost all the PACKOUT stuff's made in Israel. It's great stuff. We love it. Parts of it are made in China. We love it. We have battery issues. We're going to talk about that on one video. We actually have a warranty video. I have a broken PACKOUT. Stuff breaks, but I have American-made stuff that's what?
A broken PACKOUT.
A broken. I have a couple broken. I have American-made stuff that is just as broke as I have Chinese-made stuff. So I'm going to hop down off my podium. I apologize. I'd love for you to get into the comments. I'd love for you to have civilized adult conversations, and let's, you know, throw some brands out there that aren't made in the USA that we love. Because I love Knipex, German tools, right? All of you, what?
I love
I'm
you.
getting laughter. All right,
I love you. It's hot out here.
It is hot. We need air conditioning.
We do.
We need some changes.
I don't even care where the air conditioner is made. I just want it.
They're probably made in China.
Probably.
All right.
You know what? If they're good at it, I'm gonna let them do it.
Exactly. And on that note, I don't know, that was a Chinese version of the word note. Okay, on that note. It was the knockoff version. On that note, I need to get out of here. We're busy, and we're crazy, and we have a sale.
We do. Misfits.
Misfit
I am
prints.
trying to get these things out of my house, please.
You got a 3D print, something's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's
works.
not structural because I try the drop test.
We do the drop test now. We
And
throw the stuff against the ground.
If it breaks, then obviously it goes in the trash. But if it doesn't, then it's perfectly fine.
Goes on the website.
And
So
it's mostly just cosmetic blemishes, but, you know, take the stuff off my hands at a very discounted price.
at shop.jakeofall.com. Not going to push our stuff any more than that. Have a great one. Thanks to all those that entered all the past giveaways. We got a really cool one coming up next Friday.
You're gonna want to stick around because
It's going to be a 10
impressed.
spot tools. But it's more than that. It's
He went all out.
lots of money. That's all I have to say. You guys have a good one. Peace out.
Bye.
People think I don't like China. I love China. China is the new China, by the way. China. I deal with China. China, big league.